Welcome back to the Background Lounge. Today we have an amazing guest. This man is a businessman. He is an entrepreneur. He is a new author of a book called License to Life. And in this book, there are so many beautiful lessons. From reading this book, he's more than what I just said he was. He's also a mentor. He's also a teacher. He's also a motivator, and I really hope that after this interview, you're inspired not only to get to know this man, but also to get to know more of his work. So right now, the Background Lounge would love to introduce Mr. Tacuma Stanfield. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you. I'm glad that you were able to bless us, man, with your presence. Yeah, man.
I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah,
this is exciting.
Yeah, good. And I'm so glad, man. We go back. We've known each other for a very long time, since Clark Atlanta University. You know what I mean? And when I found out that you had a book and you and I got to have a conversation, I instantly bought it. And after reading it, I was like, everybody should have this book. And I say that we're going to get into more of it a little later on, but I would just say right now that there are so many lessons in this book that you wish that your parents knew when they were bringing you up to instill them into you, that would have made life smoother. And it's definitely one of those books that after reading it, I am definitely going to look back at it as reference. It's definitely a book you want to go back to give yourself reminders of certain lessons in life, man. So I just thank you for taking the time out, taking your mental, taking your heart and your passion and putting it into a piece of work that I feel like will benefit many, many people.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah.
Writing this book was inspiring for me because I have daughters,
Mm-hmm.
And this is my way to give back to them,
Yeah.
So, sharing it with the world, means a lot that people are, really loving the stories and the lessons in the book, and that hopefully they can apply it in some type of way in their life.
Absolutely.
So, that's cool.
Yeah, man. So let's start back, man. Let's go back to the very beginning. Like, where was Tacuma born? Where were you born? Where are you from?
I'm from California.
Yeah.
Southern California.
Uh-huh.
I was actually born in Anaheim.
Okay.
We grew up in Moreno Valley, Riverside County.
Okay.
For people who don't know where that is, that's about 70 miles east of LA.
Okay.
Between Palm Springs. So if you ever been to Coachella,
okay,
you probably driven through there at some point,
gotcha.
on the 60 highway.
Mm-hmm.
But man, growing up out there, man, it was a small community. My parents grew up in Los Angeles. My dad's from Compton, my mom's from Watts. And they wanted a better life for their kids. When LA, stuff started to happen in LA, riots and gang banging and things like that. Yeah. They wanted to pull us out of that and put us in a better environment, man. So that's kind of where I grew up.
Yeah. So would you say, being that your parents had that type of upbringing in the Watts and you said in Compton, were they like tough parents? Like, you know what I mean? Did they tell you stories about they had to have hands? Like, was it one of them things?
Yeah, man. Especially with my pops, man. My pops is just really the disciplinarian at the household. My mom as well. My mom ain't no joke, right? Yeah. But my dad was a disciplinarian in the house, so he got that from his father. His father was the same way, probably, a little bit more harsh.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think, through those lessons that they discovered, growing up in LA and just being around that environment, man, and, their foresight and how they looked at the world and, what they wanted from us, they wanted just a better life. And like, I can't thank them more, just for, having that mindset, because a lot of times our parents want to keep us in, a certain environment, just because that's where they grew up and that's where they're comfortable up. But yeah, my pops definitely disciplinary.
Yeah. Sure. What type of work did they do?
My dad worked for the post office.
Okay.
My mom, she started off in banking and she ended up at the post office as well. So both my parents worked at the post office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And you said that in your book, you say that you're the youngest of four?
Youngest of four boys.
Youngest of four boys. And what was that like?
Man, woo. It makes you grow up fast.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to people all the time. They talk about how they probably were the only child in the household.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up as the last son, you see all the crap before it happens. And you know what not to do and what things you should do. And, But it also comes with a cost, man. Man, my brothers was tough on me. I didn't get a chance to watch what I wanted to watch on TV. I had to watch their programs.
Man.
So a lot of times my friends ask me about certain cartoons. I'm like, I didn't watch that as a kid, man.
Right.
I watched what my brothers watched.
You was watching wrestling.
Wrestling.
Football, you know what I mean?
Family Matters and stuff like that, the real shows, right? So like, it's different growing up like that.
Yeah. Now, if your family was in here right now, they were to ask you what type of kid was Tacuma, what would they
turned up.
Oh, really?
I was turned up, man.
Yeah.
I was active, bro. I wanted to fight everybody. I talk about it in my book. My first name means alert. My middle name means bold. So, man, like, never afraid to fight. Always challenging my brothers, pushing the limit.
Yeah.
As they bullied me, I bullied them back.
Really?
Yeah, man. I'm short, man. I'm 4'11", all the way up until probably sophomore in high school. Oh, yeah. And that's when I hit my sprout.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I gave them just as much as they gave me.
Right. So wow. So you say you was a bully to them too. You wasn't an easy meal.
Nah, I wasn't no pushover.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I did, man, I'm telling. I'm going to my mom, my dad, and I'm telling everything that they did, bro.
Yeah. Leverage.
Yeah, leverage. Yeah.
That's what's up. So when you going to school, were you active in school as well? What's the age gap between you and your brothers?
So my brother Julius is 11 months apart.
Okay.
I have a brother Kidway. He's born in 78, and my oldest brother is 73.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a wide range.
It's a wide range minus the 11 months.
11 months
apart. My sister and I are 11 months apart as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you know how that is.
Yeah, I know how that is, man. So y'all the same age for a very short period of time for like a month.
Then it switches.
Then it switches up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So growing up with your brothers, you weren't a pushover. You was basically, I guess, learning how to stand your ground.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
And you talk about it in the book that there were times when, being that you knew how it felt like to be bullied, whenever that you were in school and you saw someone else kind of getting bullied, or and you said it wasn't a physical thing, but it might be y'all cracking jokes on each other, and this one person is like getting the worst of it. Yeah. You'll kind of figure out a way to come in and not necessarily, and like maybe crack jokes or deflect. Yeah.
You have to learn how to joke in Cali, man. Like, we used to sit at the lunch tables at lunchtime and we play dominoes, spades, whatever we were playing during that time. And part of that part of that activity was everybody just talking smack.
Yeah.
And it is always this one cat that everybody's going to talk smack to, right?
The easy one.
The easy one.
Yeah.
Right? And for me, like, if I saw the reaction, because I'm very alert, I pay attention to everything that's going on. And if I saw a certain reaction, man, I usually want to step up and say, hey, I'm gonna get this person back for joking on this person. You know what I'm saying? To kind of just steal the attention away. Yeah. When I see something going wrong. So yeah. For sure.
And that's good, man. When I was growing up, I was never good at roasting, because that's what we got. You know what I'm saying? I was never good at roasting. Every now and again, I would do okay, but my thing was, I was never big on saying things that hurt people's feelings. I never wanted to hurt people's feelings, but people would get on me all the time. And sometimes I get a little tight, but I would never, I don't know. I feel like I could take it more than some other people.
Yeah.
So I would kind of do the same thing at times when people were like getting on one person and it was a lot. I would try to do something to deflect it, talk about something else, or, just do something, or bring the attention back to me. It's like, I'd rather you talk bad to me or roast me, because this person look like they about to cry.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to happen.
You don't, man. It's all in fun. We're kids and you're going to say certain things, your mama jokes when we grew up. But at the end of the day, man, like, you don't want anybody to feel, unvalued or unappreciated, or feel like they're the mark of the room. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool.
Yeah. And that's how you end up with issues like people coming to school with weapons. And wanting some type of retaliation. Like, you might say something about somebody and you might hit a chord that you don't even realize you hit.
You don't ever even know.
And now this person is feeling away, and now they want to retaliate, and you don't even know what's about to happen to you the next day you come to school. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I always say, like, use your words wisely and be mindful of how you speak of a person.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, but as kids, we don't know no better.
We don't know better, man.
Yeah, we just kind of do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you were in high school, were you active? Were you like into sports, or?
So
You said something about running track.
I ran track as a youth, right? So my dad put us in all kind of different things. I modeled for a company called Ubiquitous in California and Los Angeles. We ran track. All the boys ran track. We played baseball. There's certain things that I couldn't do because I have sickle cell, and I talked about that in my book as well. Contact sports like football, I didn't get a chance to really, get involved in that. But man, anything sporting, anything outdoors, man, we were kind of into for sure. And you asked about high school. In high school, man, when after my mom and my dad split up in California, first 2 years, I didn't get a chance to do anything in high school, man. My grades were too bad. I was purposely acting up.
I was just about to ask you
I was purposely doing things because I wanted to go live with my father at the time. Because that's who I looked up the most. I looked up to him the most. And he moved out here to Atlanta, and I wanted to be here in Atlanta with him. So I did whatever I could to rebel, to make my mom mad, to make her say it's time for you to go. So I didn't do much of sports in high school at all.
Right. Yeah. So because around that time when your parents did split, your older brother was out of the house.
He was out of the house, but he was already living with my father in California. First, because they already had separated when I was in California.
Gotcha.
So they lived together, and then they both moved to Atlanta.
Okay. So when it was your mom, it was your mom, and your brother, your 11-month?
11-month, and my brother Kid.
Okay. Yeah. And I knew that had to have been a toll on her, having three boys at the house.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then dealing with somebody who is intentionally trying to push you to get rid of him in a sense. I know that was kind of rough on her. Now, so you didn't end up coming to Atlanta until you went off to college?
No, I came to Atlanta, man. My mom finally sent me out here after my sophomore year in high school in Los Angeles.
Oh,
in Moreno Valley.
Okay, so what part of Georgia were you in? Or Atlanta when you got?
Covington, Georgia.
You in Covington?
I finished at Newton High School.
Newton High School.
Yeah.
I used to run track against Newton.
You probably lost.
Man, wait, hold on, player. Wait a minute. I was all right out there. Lithonia High School. Yeah, we played Newton a few times. I was a sprinter.
Okay.
I did the 2, the 4, 4x1, and the 4x4. I was decent. Okay. I ran mainly to stay in shape for football.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was one of them guys where it's like when I felt like running, I was really good. But I gotta feel it. If I'm not feeling it, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Track is like the catalyst of football. Most cats that I know grew up in where I'm from, they all ran track, the fast guys.
Yeah.
And then they played football.
Yeah.
So.
And you said that from reading the book, you made to regionals?
Junior Olympics.
I
went to the Junior Olympics.
And pulled a hamstring.
Pulled a hamstring right before like the day before the race, we practiced. I pulled my hamstring, bro. The guy that actually I beat in the California State Games.
He's the one. He came in second.
Well, he came in second.
When you beat him, and then he beat you.
I came in 9th, bro.
Yeah,
I had a hamstring. I didn't want to not run the race because we flew all the way from LA to Auburn University. That's where we ran at Junior Olympics.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude, so you had some wheels.
I'm decent. We work hard.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You put in the work, you get the results.
I'm not world class. I'm not in the Olympics, you know what I'm saying, the real Olympics, but it made sense.
No, I never went to Junior Olympics. I did decent. Like I said, I was all right.
Yeah.
I hated running the 400. They say that's the man's race.
Yeah.
And anytime the 400 came around, I was like, you know what I mean? And the relay, I would like, if I'm running a relay, coach, just let me be second or third leg. I don't want to start the race, and I don't want to end it.
Finish it.
I can maintain, or I can catch a couple people if you need me to catch folks, but I don't want it to start or end on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would be, hiding. But my splits be like 50, 50,
I ran a
49.
200 long jump.
Yeah, you look like a long jumper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun, man. It was fun, man. I wish, sometimes you wish you can go back and relive those moments.
Yeah.
You can't.
You would take, because I think if you were to go back, you would treat it a lot better.
Absolutely.
You would live more in the moment. I think you would work a lot harder because you go back as you get older, you start thinking like, I wonder if I would have really put a lot of effort into it, where would it have gone?
And that's where I pushed my oldest daughter. You know what I'm saying? She's 20 right now in college, but I always pushed her to live in a moment.
Yeah.
And to take advantage of that moment. She's in college, Savannah State, in her second year. And I'm like, man, I wish and we'll probably get there. Like some of the things that I should have took advantage of when I was on campus.
Yeah.
I want her to take full advantage of, and just not only that, just different things in life that you may not think that are important.
Yeah.
But when you look back and you're our age, and our parents told us the same thing, and we didn't listen.
Yeah, don't rush to get old is one thing. You know what I mean? And live in the moment. Enjoy right now. Don't rush to be an adult.
Don't rush.
Don't rush. Enjoy because when it's gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
Man. Yeah. What made you choose Clark Atlanta University?
So my brother, Kidboy, graduated from Clark.
Okay.
He graduated in 2000.
Okay.
My junior and senior year in high school, the counselor was a Black lady. I can't remember her name, but man, she encouraged us to apply for different schools. So I applied to Johnson C. Smith, Hampton, Howard, Morehouse. I'd never applied to Clark. But my brother took me to Coronation.
Okay.
And when you go to the Coronation and you experience that at a HBCU,
yes,
it changed the game, right? And I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do as far as like college or anything like that. But the moment I graduated high school, my dad, he's always on us, man. You got yard work. I'm like, man, I just graduated high school. What you mean I got yard work? So I'm in the garden, picking the garden, getting the weeds up out.
Like a Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood moment. And he comes and he was like, so what you gonna do? I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, you gonna go to the military, you gonna go to college? And I had to just sit back real quick and I was like, man, what do I want to do? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to college. So he was like, okay, cool. I'll be right back. So he went in the house, made a phone call. And the next thing you know, I was at preseason academic on Clark's campus.
Wow.
Yeah. I moved that same day. I haven't been back home since.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Something about stepping on CAU campus will change you.
Yeah.
When I chose Clark, and I had never seen the campus. I didn't know a whole lot about it. Some of the guys that I played ball with, they ended up going to CAU. And I would always hear about Morehouse and Morris Brown, and they would mention Clark, but I was like, something about it just had a ring to it for me. That first day on campus, 18 years old, all these girls.
Yeah.
That was one of the main things. I was like, man, there are so many girls, and there are so many beautiful women on this campus. I was like, yeah, Ma, you could drop me off. I'm good.
Yeah.
I ain't got to go back. You know what I mean?
And it was quite the experience.
It was quite the experience. It was good. It motivated you to want to go to school.
Yeah.
Any motivation that makes you want to do better for yourself, I think is good motivation.
And I think it was 25-1 too.
It was 25-1. I've been in so many classes where it would be like 30 students, 2 guys.
It's crazy.
I like going to class.
And we all knew each other.
We all knew each other. Man. It was beautiful, man. And even everybody was cool. One thing that I did learn when it comes to dating from being at Clark Atlanta is being attractive isn't enough. Because there's an attractive woman on dang near every corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What else is in there? What do you bring to the table? And I learned that at CAU, there were a lot of women who were very attractive, and a lot of them had a lot of substance to them that I liked.
Yeah.
And then you have a few that, not so much. You know what I mean? So it kind of gives you a good gauge on what you like and what you don't like, and what will entice you and what you will not allow to entice you.
Yeah.
And just being attractive, I was just like, that you got to come harder than that.
Yeah, you got to have some substance on campus.
Got to have something in there, man. Like women coming just thinking they cute. I'm like, yeah.
Did you find though, like when you came in, and I'm asking you this question, like, there were girls that probably thought they were the cutest in high school, but when they got to Clark.
Oh yeah.
It was different.
There were girls that back in their high school, they were like 10s. But they get to CAU and they become like 7s.
Yeah.
They still cute, but it's levels to this.
It's
levels to this, man. Me and a buddy of mine was just talking about this like a few days ago, man. It's strange because we were talking about one girl who she's doing very well for herself, and I would see her on campus all the time. She was very pretty, very attractive, but there were so many other women that were just drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you were more focused on them, not even realizing you got a bad one right here in front of you.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but in hindsight, you're like, man, I probably should have gave her a chance.
Yeah, there's enough chances to give.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So when you came in to CAU, you were in business management.
Yeah.
And however, you had to pivot and make other decisions that caused you, an event happened that caused you to have to take a step back.
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, I was playing ball, man. I was playing ball on campus. We were in the gym. It was a big cap. He was an Upward Bound program. And, I just went to go cross him up and we hit heads and I kind of felt like I had a concussion. But I didn't think nothing of it, man. I went back to my dorm room chilling.
Yeah.
About a week later, I had my car on campus and I'm driving to go wash my clothes. Every week I would go home and wash my clothes. And I felt like I had an eyelash in my eye.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get rid of it. I'm up here picking it out. I'm trying to blow, do whatever I could to get the eyelash to go away. And it just would never go away. And I didn't think nothing of it, man. But as days went by, it got worse.
Yeah.
And what I later found out is I was having a vitreous hemorrhage in my eye, which is when you have blood vessels that start to bleed. That blood vessel actually started to fill the blood in my eyes. So I eventually lost my vision in both eyes. Wow. And this was like first semester going and again, right after homecoming, going into our break. Right before finals, man. And my roommate at the time, I didn't even drive to the optometrist. We literally took Martyr up to the eye group off of Lenox Road, and they was like, "You need to see an ophthalmologist very quick. You have bleeding in your eye." So I went to go see an ophthalmologist, and they gave me some laser to stop the bleeding in my eye. But some of the damage already had been done, especially in my left eye, man. It was so much blood that it impacted my retina.
Wow.
Yeah, so eventually my retina tore and I lost vision in my left eye.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So it was one of those things where of course, you have something and it feels like just a lash in your eye. You're not going to take that seriously. We feel it all the time, and 9 times out of 10, you're just going to be like, all right, it'll go away.
Yeah.
However, had you been able to make it to the optometrist, when you first started filming, they would have been able to
fix me up.
Wow.
Fix me up.
And because that happened, what goes through your mind when they tell you when you actually lose vision in one of your eyes? Like, what happens like mentally? Like,
man, everything happened mentally, man. I lost a lot of confidence, bro. Like, I told you my pops is the disciplinarian. So like he used to always say, when you talk to somebody, look them in your eyes. And for me, I couldn't look nobody else in the eye anymore.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how they would look at me and perceive me, you know, with having the blindness.
Gotcha.
And it was at the point where, most people don't realize is when you go blind, your eye starts to deaden.
Right.
So like if you think about Fetty Wap and look at his eye, that's what my eye looks like.
Starts turning to like that powder, that grayish powder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then at the initial moment, I had to wear eye patch. So when I'm on campus, man, I'm going to class, but I'm getting back to my dorm room so nobody would see me.
Yeah. Because anybody see you, they got questions. What's going on? What happened?
What's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't know really how to answer those questions. And I didn't really know how to do much for myself, right? I didn't know how to seek help.
Yeah.
I talk about it in my book, man. Like if I would have known that there was a place for me to go on campus to get the support that I needed, I would have definitely taken advantage of that. But I didn't know that.
Yeah. And you ended up leaving. Yeah, because you do say that in the book because you're like you found out later on that there was a situation where you could have stayed in school, just maybe taking a semester off or
taking a semester off or doing it the right way, right? So what happened is I just withdrew.
Yeah.
And what people don't know is when you withdraw from classes, your FAFSA depends on a certain amount of credits taking and achieve at the same time. So I started losing scholarships, you know what I'm saying, because of that.
Yeah.
So man, I wish I would have did it the right way because I could have got support. I could have been put in a situation where I had extra time to study and read and take tests.
Yeah.
To make it easier on myself, so I could have stayed on campus.
Yeah. And you withdraw from Clark Atlanta University, and what happens? What happens like once you leave?
So I withdrew spring.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take no classes in spring, and I came back in the fall
Mm-hmm.
because once they did the actual laser, my vision improved. So I was able to return to campus. My retina actually didn't detach until fall sophomore year.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm back, man. I'm back on campus.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
seeing, all good. And then, I have my checkup and I go to the doctor. He's like, man, you have a retina detachment. So I literally had 3 separate surgeries to try to repair the retina, and it just never repaired itself.
Got it.
In the midst of all this, man, like I think there was a moment where I went to go stay with my mom in California. She still lives out there. But I just needed a mental break to figure out, like, what was my next steps. I wanted to complete school. Like, I didn't leave school because I didn't have the grades. I didn't leave school because I wasn't smart enough or couldn't compete. I left school because I had something that was going on. And unfortunately, long term, because of withdrawing so much, I ran out of money.
Right.
So I got to my junior year, second semester at Clark, and I ran out of money.
So you had to leave.
Had to leave.
Man, I know that was rough.
Yeah,
that was hard. And within that time, like after you withdraw your junior year, I know that during that time, like mentally, you were probably in another place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And you're probably trying to figure out, well, what is my next move? I didn't finish school. I didn't finish strong. Like the last chapter of your book.
Exactly.
I didn't finish strong. And you're trying to figure out next steps. Like, what are you going to do financially? How are you going to be able to support yourself?
Yeah.
Did you just start working jobs, different places? I think you said you worked for a wireless retail.
Wireless retail, man. And like over the summer after my freshman year, I actually started working for VoiceStream at the time.
Okay.
So I started doing that, and wireless retail, man, people didn't know that they pay really good money. I was making good money at Clark, and then I was getting refund checks too. So a lot of those refund checks, I wish I would have stored away because I would have been that caveat to finish. But yeah, I started doing that, and then I worked in wireless retail for I did 7 years with VoiceStream, which ended up turning into T-Mobile, and then I did another 13 years at AT&T.
Okay.
After that.
Dang.
Yeah.
And so did you work your way up, like kind of like getting into like management?
Yeah. Working myself way up in the management roles, territory manager where I supported the different clients and things like that. It eventually took me out to LA, and, Cricket Wireless.
Cricket, yeah.
I helped launch that in the Los Angeles market. My job was to go over to the dealers and support their growth and, teach them how to sell and deliver our product to the customers the right way.
Yeah. Okay. Now you've done a lot, even like because now you've done you got real estate, and things of that nature. Was this something that you was getting into while you were in management, while you were working for Cricket, or did you at some point where you like there has to be more than what I'm doing now, and you decide to step away?
Yeah. So once my dad moved to Georgia, him and my stepmother, my stepmother, she was a nurse for a long time, but my dad started doing real estate.
Okay.
So probably about 94, he was doing real estate. So when I moved out here and I came and visited him for the summer times, I would always ride with him and he would show property. I'd be his driver, just showing where to go because we didn't have Waze, no GPS. Yeah. So like we had an map book, so I was like, Dad, turn right here, turn left there.
Yeah.
And so I ended up learning real estate through that process and seeing what he was doing. And at Clark, he actually put me through real estate school.
Really?
Yeah, he put me into real estate school at Clark, man, and I didn't take it serious. I finished the first course, but I didn't take the final. So back in 2014, I was working for AT&T at the time.
Yeah,
I was like, man, let me go back and get my real estate license.
Yeah.
So I went to I would go to work, and right after I leave work, I would go down and take the in-person courses. I did that for I think it was a 75-hour course. End up passing on the first try. Got my real estate license in 2014. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Now, was it easy? Like, I know when they say when you get into real estate, once you get your real estate license, you basically have to build your clientele.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, a hard thing to do? Was it something that kind of came easy to you?
I usually work with my friends, people I know,
Mm-hmm.
and through that process, I get referrals and things like that. But I still got a main job, man, and I still
Yeah.
had a daughter at the time, so
Right.
I'm paying child support. I got to make sure I have a consistent check every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Real estate doesn't give you that,
Mhm.
autonomy to be able to have frequent money. It's all about what you sell. You don't get paid until you sell anything, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I didn't
Commission
never get
only.
into it really serious
Mhm.
because I wanted to make sure I had a method for for me to pay child support, for me to take care of my daughter,
Mhm.
and just be there for her, and be held accountable to
Yeah.
being an adult.
Yeah. How old were you when you had your daughter?
24.
You're 24 when you had your daughter. Okay. And was that wait, what go so look, so you're working at this time, you 24, you working ATT or Cricket?
No, at that time I was with T-Mobile.
With T-Mobile, at
Yeah,
T-Mobile.
yeah.
You find out that you got a daughter on the way. What is that? When you get the call, like what happens?
So initially, it's scary, man. I'm
Yeah.
still young. I don't
Mhm.
know, really what I want out of life.
Mhm.
But I knew one thing that my dad taught us is, and I talk about this in this book, always take care of your kids.
Mhm.
Always be there for your kids.
Mhm.
So, initially when I, found out that the lady I was dealing with at the time got pregnant, I tried to do it the right way, man. I
Yeah.
proposed to her, went out, got a ring,
Mhm.
thought I was gonna marry her, and
Mhm.
it didn't go the way, I planned it to be, but
Yeah.
I always wanted to be there for my daughter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I would, make sure, I counted to the visitation, be there
Mhm.
every other weekend and, pick her up from school.
Yeah.
I was her softball coach for a while.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? So I was being there for her, but yeah, man, it was scary, man. 24, you don't know.
You don't know, but that's very admirable of you, man, because there's the kid, it's not their fault
Yeah.
that they're here,
Yeah.
and I've known people in my past who are fathers, and because they may not get along with the mother of the child, they just wash their hands,
Yeah. Yeah.
not realizing how detrimental that is to that child.
Mhm.
Now the child is looking like, well, you don't want me because
Yeah.
if you did, you would have fought for me. Or if you did, you would have made the extra steps. You would have made that work
Yeah.
for me. Not, because I think when you just wash your hands of a situation like that, it's very ego driven to me, and it's very selfish.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that kid needs you more than you can imagine.
Absolutely.
And like I got three,
Mhm.
two girls and my son, and for one thing, I can't imagine not seeing them every day.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. And I'm like, whatever, my wife and I, we don't always see eye to eye on everything. But one thing that drives me is just knowing that, we have to make this work
Yeah.
for our kids.
Mhm. Mhm.
They need to see a great example of what relationship is, what a marriage looks like. So sometimes I got to swallow my pride, swallow my ego, and just take, sometimes I got to take the L
Yeah.
for the greater good,
Yeah.
but it's for some guys, it's just hard for them to grasp that concept.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
A lot of women don't make it easy, and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say it was easy,
Yeah.
because when emotions get involved,
Mhm.
sometimes you forget about the child.
Mhm.
You're right, and things happen, and things are said that you wish you never said, or
Oh yeah.
so it's not easy at all. I always applaud cats like yourself that
Mhm.
married and kids
Mhm.
are in the household,
Mhm.
because I think it does make a difference. I
Yeah.
look at my brother and how his kids are raised, and having both kids in the household, it is a difference, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always constantly trying to make up for lost time,
Mhm.
because you're not there every day, every night when they go to bed, and when you're reading them a book and
Mhm.
letting them know how much they are loved.
Yeah.
You don't get that experience when you have a child out of wedlock,
Mhm.
and a relationship doesn't work, right? So
Mhm.
like me, I just try to do the best that I could. I try not to disparage, my daughter's mom.
Mhm.
And but I'm not going to sit here and say it was easy. It wasn't at all, bro. It
Nah.
wasn't at all.
Nah. I can definitely imagine. I can definitely imagine, man. But hey, I commend you.
Appreciate it.
You know what I mean? And like you talk about a lot of this stuff in the book. Fast forwarding to the book,
Yeah.
what was the catalyst that inspired you to start this work?
So take it back to Clark again, man. Freshman year, I took U.S. African in the World. I had Dr. Black.
Dr. Black, okay.
Remember Dr. Black?
Yep,
Did you
I
take
remember
Dr. Black?
I didn't take him, but people would talk about him because they really liked his class.
But a lot of people didn't want to take him because they thought he was going to be challenging.
Yeah.
But I took him because I wanted to challenge. You know, the first thing he taught us was lift up your voice and sing. I think all 4 or 5 stanzas we had to learn.
Yeah.
But he always talked about, and he's a avid reader, man. And he's always talking about, like, if your book is your legacy, what you leave for your story, and you leave that for other people. That's the true legacy. Because once you're gone and there's nothing to attach yourself to, then how will people know your story and what you're about? So I always wanted to write a book. At first it was like, man, I'm gonna write a relationship book. Yeah. Relationships wasn't working. 10
steps to get her to fall in love with you.
Exactly. And then I was like, man, I'm gonna write an autobiography. And I'm like, man, I'm not famous. No one's gonna read no book like that. And then you know, my cousin unfortunately passed away in November this year. But I always write stories. I always would have like notes on my phone when I had my Sidekick, my Palm Pilot, my BlackBerry. I always there'll be moments in euphoria, and I'll just start writing stuff down that I wanted to kind of contextualize in the book. Yeah, a lot of that stuff didn't enter in this book, but it was in my mind of things I wanted to kind of talk about. So when he passed away, man, like I literally locked in, bro. Yeah,
and my condolences to
appreciate it, man. Yes. It was tough because, like, for me, I've had my grandparents pass away. I've had uncles pass away. But this is the closest person to me that I talk to on a consistent basis that passed away. Yeah. So when he passed away and he had four daughters, I was like, man, if something like that were to happen to me, I got 2 daughters. Yeah. I want them to know my story. I want them to know some of the core lessons that I had in life. And that inspired me to really just lock in. And so I locked in and just hammered it out, man. I would write a chapter, let my wife read the chapter. Yeah. She would say, man, this is amazing. Right. And I was like, cool, really? And I'll write another chapter. And she's like, yeah, this is amazing. So she encouraged me through the process, man. But yeah, that's really how it started, man. And
License to Life, what is the book about? Like when I go to the bookstore or I look online to purchase this book, what am I purchasing?
You're purchasing a book where like 21 core lessons. And the reason why it's 21 is because my brother Kidway's number was 21. My number was 7. My other brother was 3. You know what I'm saying? So however you calculate it, it turns into 21. Oh, that's so dope. When I write those lessons and I pick the core ones, there are many more lessons that I can share. And I'm working on other books as well. But when you read this book, it's 21 lessons that I learned growing up and how they've guided my life. Yeah. Whether it's professionally, whether it's in a relationship, you know, whether you're just sitting back and you're just trying to figure life out yourself and you don't have all the answers. In my book, I talk about, I didn't write this this story from like the mountaintop. I wrote it for the climb, right? So like, I still make mistakes. I still do things today that I wish I hadn't done. Yeah. There's still lessons that I still learn every day. But essentially, if you get this book, there's going to be something to give you a guiding principle or a guiding light to start off and have a good trajectory for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I truly enjoyed the book. And as I was reading it, I thought about myself when I was growing up. I grew up, my mother was in the house. My stepdad, my dad, I always have trouble deciphering what I would like to label him. That's something I'm dealing with. But he was a disciplinarian, very much so. He was a Marine. He was very much so. He taught me, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Yeah. He really taught me how to respect people. But there was a lot of things growing up that I wish I would have learned that I didn't learn from him, that I felt like a father should be able to teach a son. Yeah. I had to figure out that it wasn't because it wasn't a detriment to me that he didn't teach me these things. There was just certain things that he didn't even know. Yeah. You know, he was a foster child. You know, so there was a lot of things he would fold up into a shell whenever he felt a certain way about certain things. So he'd get very quiet. And he was one of them ones that knew how to do a lot of stuff, but didn't necessarily, might not have taught you how to do it, I guess, thinking you'd figure it out. So reading your book, there were so many principles that I saw in this book, and I was like, man, I wish I would have learned this then. Man, I wish I would have learned that there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, I think that this book should be a book that every person reads, especially if you're a parent.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're a parent, I think you should pick this book up quick and just because it's a reference book to me. It's a book that you can always go back to. You can always remind yourself of certain things. Whenever your child is going through a particular thing, or they're having a struggle or a challenge with a particular thing, there's something in this book that can actually help with that challenge. So I love this book, man.
Man, I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Man. Like,
I think it's really
I don't
good.
even think my parents knew about these core lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were just guiding us in a way, man, and these lessons stuck to me.
Yeah.
You know, because both of them read the book, man, and they was like, man, wow, I didn't realize.
They don't realize what they were doing.
They didn't realize what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this is kind of like a thank you and to them.
Yeah.
To show them that they, you know, they did the right thing. And, you know, all four of us, all four boys, right? And I even have a sister, you know, that is not from my mother.
Okay.
She's younger. She's the youngest. But even for her, man, you know, just to be able to read this book and read these stories and hopefully take something away.
Yeah. I love it. You got a second look. I gotta say this about my mom. My mom taught me a lot too.
Yeah.
I don't want her to be like, you ain't saying I taught you stuff too. My mother taught me how to love.
Yeah.
She taught love, and I even though my mother went through certain trials and tribulations, some challenges in life, she still showed up.
Oh, of course.
She still made sure that we had everything that we needed. And when she had to be the disciplinarian, she was. Sometimes I was more afraid of her than I was my stepdad, and he was 6'2", 220. You know what I mean? Because she just ain't play, and you ain't know where it was going to come from.
Yeah. Some of my worst disciplinary actions came from mom.
Mom. Because look, mom, it's like you know how they say in our culture when you're black, you always have to overdo. You got to do extra. You know. As a mom raising boys, sometimes I'm sure they feel like they got to do extra to let it be known. They got to drive that point home. You know what I mean? So there was a point in your book that you talk about, what was it? Start at the collar?
Start at the collar, yeah.
Start with the collar. Can you explain what that concept is?
Yeah, it's metaphoric, man.
Yeah.
So my grandmother, I talked about this in the book. She, you know, you go spend time with your grandmother, you know you're going to go to church.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so there was one moment where she was like, you know, iron your shirt. And I'm up here ironing and taking me forever. And she's like, nah, let me show you how to do it the right way. She said, start at the collar and then to the yoke and to the back pleat of your shirt, right? And then it comes around to the front and then your arms. And what I basically was saying within the book is the collar is more like your foundation, right? It sits right. You know, it sets the stage of how your dress shirt should look. And then once you get to the back, right? And those are some of the many lessons that you learn over time throughout the foundation that you were set for yourself. And then the front of the shirt is moments where you're tweaking and you're testing and you're figuring things out.
Yes.
And then your sleeves, man. Have you ever shook a man's hand and you look at his collars, you like, damn, his collars is tight.
Yes.
Well, his sleeves are tight.
You almost want to pull yours back.
You want to pull yours back, right?
Yeah.
That's a completion. Right. And that's what I talk about in that chapter.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just a metaphor and I rounded it out to experience in life.
Beautiful metaphor.
Appreciate it. Bro.
Beautiful metaphor. You have another one. I'm going to talk about a couple of them, man, that stood out to me. You have another one saying, always open the door.
Always open the door for your spouse.
Always open the door for your spouse.
Yeah.
Now look, that doesn't just mean the guys open it. It's a metaphor too.
Yeah.
You know, we open the doors physically for our spouses, for our wives, girlfriends, but that it also goes both ways in other aspects.
Yes.
So and what do you mean? What does that mean?
Yeah, man. You know, just being in relationships and now being married, man. I think there's moments where you have to open the door for the communication. You have to open the door for your wife's thoughts. You have to open the door for situations where you least expect it. And that's what I talk about in that chapter, man. Like just being really present and being vulnerable enough to be able to open the door up, being able to listen and just being able to like, you know what? You are right.
Yeah.
I am wrong. Let's fix this together. And opening the door from your spouse is just opening yourself up for the communication, opening your door up for the things that you guys are going to, you know, go through within your marriage and your relationship and be, you know, be vulnerable enough to understand that. And I think, you know, people will say open the door for your spouse, like you said, opening the door or physically, opening the door, like that. But like you, emotionally and spiritually, all that, man, you have to open the door for us. So that's what that was.
Yeah, and I thought that was really, really dope, man. Talking about opening the door, just because what happens is when you don't allow yourself to do that, and you say this in the book, is that what it does is it makes your spouse feel unsafe. And if they do not feel safe, then they're not going to open up to you about certain things because they're going to feel judged. They're going to feel like you're going to dismiss them and all these things. So I thought that was a very valuable thing, something that myself in my own marriage, I'm still learning. I feel like that I'm doing a lot better because with my wife, she opens up to me and she tells me the things that she wants, the things that bothers her. And sometimes we can look at it as, or I can look at it as, oh man, she's just complaining again about something else. I'm like, man, is everything wrong?
Yes.
But sometimes I have to sit back and check myself and say, really hear her out and hear what she has to say. And there have been times that I've had to go back to her and apologize.
Yeah.
You know what? I apologize. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have reacted this way. I don't fully understand what it is you're communicating to me, but I am willing to listen and I do want to do better.
Yeah.
And
it's a constant lesson.
Yeah.
It's constant challenge for you in marriages, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to just be perfect.
No.
People who've been married for 40 years have to figure that out every day throughout their marriage, right? And so, for me, again, I didn't write this from the mountaintop, and I'm writing it for the climb. I wrote the book for the climb, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect in my marriage.
Yeah.
Every day there's a new challenge, and every day you have to open the door for your spouse. Yeah. And that's what I want people to realize when they read that chapter.
Dog, man, that's so dope,
yeah,
man.
For sure.
Cool, man. Gosh, there's so much about this book. I love this book, man. In writing, and while you were writing this book, or matter of fact, even outside of writing the book, on the business side of the book, what were some of the trials and tribulations that you may have had getting it out there?
Yeah, man, I reached out to a couple of cats that I know that have written books before. I was like, man, should I self-publish? Should I reach out to a publisher? I didn't know even if I wanted to publish the book. My wife was kind of like, man, you should publish the book. And people who I was sending like chapters to certain friends and people that I respect, and they were giving me live feedback, and they were like, you should publish this book. So man, I started just doing my research. Once I dig in and lock in on something, it's hard to pull me away.
Yeah.
So I'm YouTube, Google, how do you do this? I went up to Resy.com and I found a graphic designer to do the book cover.
Word.
I found out about how to do your ISBN. You get 10 of them because every book, or whether there's paperback, hardback, ebook, has to have a certain ISBN number. So like just going through all that, man, and just putting it all together, it was like, man, this is a learning experience. I didn't know it was going to be all this. And then publishing it on Ngram Spark and then a KDP, which is Amazon, by the way, their platform. I had to do a lot of, research to get through that process. Yeah. But there wasn't no real challenges, man. The only challenges for me was like, I'm really private. And,
you was like that even in school. Because I would see you on campus and you was cool. You would talk to folks, you know what I mean? But you kept it quiet. I never heard anything about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anything like that. So yeah, that resonates.
Yeah. Super private, man. How are people going to receive the book? Will people like it?
Yeah.
But like, again, through sending it to different friends, people I respect, and them giving me an honest opinion, not just an opinion, right? Meant a lot. And even to this day, like I've probably given away more copies than I've sold.
Yeah.
Only because, like, for me, I just want people to have it, man. Just read the story, man. Yeah. And I'm not trying to get rich off the book. That's not what it's for. I really wrote this book for my daughters and the circumstances I was going on in my life at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, you're giving back. This is something that you're giving that you're willing to give to the world.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And I love it. I can't say it enough, man. Like when I was reading the book, I was literally reading the book, and my 8-month-old son, I'm reading it out loud with him right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're planting seeds. You're planting seeds, man. And even when my daughters are around, it's like my daughter was like, she said, story time. And because she saw that I was reading the book. And I was just kind of looking at her. She was just like, read it out loud. And it was the part when we were talking about the relationships. You talk about opening the door for your spouse. And I'm reading it out loud. And you were saying like men want, you gave some principles of things that men want. You also gave the principles of what a woman wants. And then, my wife in the background, and money. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But money is important. I was like, yeah, but I don't want that to be the lead principle that my daughters.
Let that be bonus.
Let that be a bonus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like when you lead with money on the mind, you will compromise yourself. And when a person realizes that, oh, if I got bread, I got her. All I got, and now that I got her, she's dependent on me. And now I can do whatever I want to because she ain't gonna go nowhere because of what I provide. And I told my wife, I said, I want all my children to be able to be self-sufficient. I need them to be independent and be able to provide for themselves and allow, like you said, allow their spouse or whoever they decide to be with, be a bonus to their life.
I told my daughters that in the book. There's a chapter in the book where it's talked about nothing in life is free.
Yes, I like that chapter too.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, while like money and finances does matter, right? It matters. But there's so more to a relationship than finance, because you can wake up one day, God forbid, you get in a car accident, something happened, your job lay you off.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a core structure in your marriage or in your relationship, and if it's all about money and that money disappears, what happens?
They leave.
They leave.
Yeah.
Right? So like, I want to be of value to my relationship, and that's what my wife talks about. Like, my wife does really very well. And, she's dated guys that, has done very well as well. But what she said about me is the value that I bring to the relationship. Like, I get up, I cut the grass, I can cook, I can do all the things that most men don't even know how to do, change tires, like real man type stuff.
Yeah.
And she values that, right? Because her dad did those things and she saw that.
Right.
And she was searching for it, right? So like, nothing in life is free, man. So what if you think it's gonna be all about money, it's gonna come with a cost.
If something happens in this world, if we go through some type of apocalypse where now money is no longer valuable, money means nothing. And it's all about how you survive, that is what I would hold more valuable.
Yes.
If something were to happen, if we were to get stranded off somewhere, can we survive? With you, can I survive?
Exactly.
Can you cook? Can you hunt? Can you Killer Mike says this a lot. He was like, y'all ain't ready for no revolution. Y'all ain't ready for no war. Y'all can't hunt. Y'all can't grow your own food. You can't clean it. You can't, you know what I mean? And there's so much value in what he was saying. You know what I mean? But it's like we live in a world where there's so many guys out here that are like, oh man, if I got the bread, I'm good.
Nah, but
they'll come running. Yeah, but they're only there for that one thing you provide. Just like a lot of times, women, there's a lot of women that lead with their beauty and don't really add anything else. And there's some women out there that are like, just because I look this way, everything else should fall into place. Yeah. No. Because a mentor of mine said to me one time, he was like, looks are fleeting. You might look this great at 24, 25. How you going to look at 60, 65? You know what I mean?
It changes the game.
It changes. So there has to be something deeply rooted in a relationship to sustain it outside of the looks.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because look, after you done been with this beautiful person
for such a long time,
it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
They try to get sexy for you. You be like, I'm watching the game.
Yeah, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
I seen that last night.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I've been looking at this for the past 7 years. There's nothing new to it. You know what I mean? Except for the heels you just decided to put on tonight. Yeah. So yeah, it has to be so much more. And my mentor, he also told me, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage and your family, he told me, Rob Hardy, he told me that it's God, your spouse, your children.
Yes.
That's the order.
Yes.
That it goes in. And if you mix it up any kind of way, it falls. It's not going to work out. Because if you put If you put your kids before your wife, then your wife starts feeling a certain kind of way about that. That starts arguments, and in the end, the children are the one who suffer
everything.
You know, if you move God to the bottom of everything, nothing is going to go in alignment. You know what I mean? So that's a principle that he gave me that has always, he gave me that years ago. That's always been in my mind. Now, do I always follow it to the T? No.
Who does?
Who does?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, the same thing that I got when I got that principle for him is the same thing that I'm getting from the principles in your book. Man, there's so many things in this book that I know are going to stick for a while. Yeah.
I hope that, man. I hope whoever reads this book, man, whether you're getting it for your teenager, you know, I recently, when I published the book, I had my daughter's friends over to the house. One of the guys goes to Morehouse.
Yeah.
And I made him buy the book.
Uh-huh.
And he went home and wrote the book. He was like, man, he sent my daughter a text message. He was like, man, tell your dad thank you. I needed this book in my life at this moment.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you feel well.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the fulfillment.
That's the fulfillment. You know, and my daughter is saying, hey, you know what, you've shared some of these lessons with me, but just to read them and have something tangible to look back on. Yeah. I know you didn't just write this for me and myself and Talia, which is my youngest daughter. But you wrote it for everyone, and I love that. And I love the time and attention that you put into the book, man. So just those things is what motivates me, man. Like I said, it's not about like selling books. Like if you guys want to buy the book, buy it, you know. But it's really a foundation for your kids and your success, for parents, like you said earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My kids gonna be reading this book. They're definitely gonna read this book. This is a book that I'm going to have for a very, very, very long time.
Appreciate it, bro.
You know what I mean? Absolutely, man. We're gonna get into the point of our questionnaire.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I got this from the late great James Lipton, who did Inside the Actor Studio. So it's a series of questions. I normally have them right in front of me, but I think I'm gonna try to remember from all from the dome.
Okay.
So Tacuma, what is your favorite word?
Man, what is my favorite word? I would probably say, man, forgiveness.
Okay.
Forgiveness. Right? Because I've been in so many situations where, you know, I wanted to be forgiven. And for me, like, if people done something bad or wrong or what have you, I've always tried to find a way to forgive that person.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, the only person that really can judge you is God. And it's not my job to judge you and who you are and what your character is. I hope that you can improve. But if you do improve, I want you to be forgiven.
Yeah, absolutely. Forgiveness is more so for the person doing the forgiving than it is the person who had the discrepancy.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. Good. What is your least favorite word?
I can't.
Yep.
I talk about that in the book, man.
You do.
You know, the moment I was on FaceTime with my daughter in California last night, and you know, she's doing cheer, and there was a move that she's learning, and she was like, you know, I don't think I can get that. I can't do that. And I'm like, nah, you can do that. I'm like, how many times have you practiced it yet? Well, today was my first day at cheer. I'm like, well, you got plenty of time to practice it. Yeah. So never say you can't, because the moment you give up on yourself, then you've given up on the opportunity.
Yeah, I love that. What is your favorite sound or noise?
Man, I love music.
Music?
Yeah, I love music, man.
Any specific genre?
90s R&B.
Come on, man. You can't go wrong with 90s R&B.
R&B. Anything R&B, anything about love. I listen to rap, man, but in my mind, like, you know, the more rap you listen to, the more it kind of damages your mentality and things like that. So I like to kind of listen to like the love songs and stuff.
Yeah. Like rap, like I can be very selective when it comes to rap. Like what I listen to, man. If I'm listening to because everything has its place.
Yeah.
Sometimes I might need like that extra boost to maybe get through a workout or something like that. But sometimes like I'm listening to stuff, I'm like, bro, this is like, it's like I feel like a dark cloud coming over me when you're listening to it.
Real.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But then you got some of it that is good. Yeah. You know what I mean? That does have substance to it. But I do love like I love R&B. I like jazz. I like R&B, that sort of thing. 90s R&B is really dope because it was still subliminal enough, even though they were getting a little once you start getting into Jodeci, it gets a little edgier, but there's still some level of if I'm a kid listening to it, I may not know what you're really talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas today, it's very like, no, this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. Let's do this and this. And I think that could be very bad for a kid.
Yeah, very red flaggish, very toxic,
very toxic, very toxic. I like your old schools. I like old school stuff. Even like 80s R&B. Like I'm a fan of like Sade. You know, I like Sade. I like Kim. You know what I mean? I do like your Jodeci's and your H-Towns and your Boys the Men's and your Tevin Campbell's. Like, those are dope, and it puts you in a space of nostalgia when you listen to it, a place of calm when you listen to it. It just feels good.
I'm listening to Sade and Anita Baker. That's my playlist.
Word.
Right now. Yeah.
See, I love it, man. I can listen to Sade. Sade could call and just talk to me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, just talk. Yeah. I don't care what you talk. You can say the ABCs, and I'll be sitting here like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. And she just made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So shout out to Sade.
Congratulations. Shout out to Sade on making the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That is dope. She did a because she doesn't really tour much anymore. She did a tour back in 2010, 9, somewhere around there, or 11. And I was working in the Sheraton Atlanta Hotel at the time, and I found out she was doing the tour. I was like, I gotta go to the show, and then I forgot about it. Then it slipped my mind because you get caught up like working with life. And I remember being in the hotel, and I remember a guest coming in. I was like, "Oh, well, how was your night?" "Oh, it was so great. We went to go see Sade," and my heart dropped. It was tonight.
Oh man. I'm waiting right now for her to come out,
man,
for tour.
If she comes out on another tour, I will probably be the first. Just like how people get in line to get a Beyonce ticket, or get the Chris Brown Usher ticket, which I think is going to be an amazing show.
Yeah, it is.
If Sade came out, if she said, I would be that guy that's in front of the computer ready to hit buy.
Exactly. And I'll spend whatever I need to spend on
whatever I need to spend.
For sure.
Because that's kind of like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. It's almost like a Michael Jackson.
Exactly.
Like they're only going to do but so many shows, especially like now they're up, further along in their lives. So yeah, if she ever says she's doing another tour, I might buy 2 tickets, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I might go to every show.
Right. I might go on the tour with her. Weren't you just in Cincinnati? Yeah, I was. I was. Yeah, man. I say, what's your least favorite sound?
I don't know if I have a least favorite sound. It would be something negative. Like I hate negativity. Anytime someone says anything that they can't do or don't want to do, or not have a positive outlook on life, that's kind of like what I don't like to hear a lot.
The glass is always half empty.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, be positive. Like things might not be the way you want it right now, but you never know where you're going to be in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Like in 5 years, 5 years before this, I didn't know I was going to be sitting in front of you having this podcast or have written my book.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't ever think about the negative.
Yeah. Respect. Where is there a place that you've never been that you would love to visit?
Japan.
I
would love to go.
Okay.
To Japan. Yeah.
That's on my list too. Japan, also like Singapore, but Japan, absolutely. Yeah. For the technology? Or
nah, man. You remember the movie The Last Samurai?
Yeah.
Man, I love that movie, bro.
Oh, so you want to go like you trying to go not necessarily in the city, you trying to go out and
yes.
Yeah,
I want the real experience.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I would definitely want to go.
Oh, dope.
I've been to Africa. Africa's cool. I went to Cape Town for my honeymoon. That was dope. Peru was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Japan is one that's on my list as well. Okay. So if you were not doing the profession that you're doing right now, what profession would you like to pursue?
Well, for me, anything motivating kids.
Okay.
Anything motivating kids, coaching kids, whether it's sports or anything like that. That would be something that I would love to do. I think I have a passion for seeing people's growth, and seeing people, improve and develop. Right now I'm in a leadership role in my job, and I really lock in on the leadership portion, man.
Yeah, you talk about leadership, and there's a chapter you talk about leadership in your book too, which is also another good chapter within the book. Breaking down leadership, meeting people where they are, Yeah, me and people were that. You talked about the promotion that you and another gentleman was going up on. You ended up getting the promotion. You actually had to sit down with everyone, and then you sat down with him, and he wasn't disrespectful or anything like that, but he just was like, I wanted this position. And he was older, and instead of you allowing that conversation to take a left turn, you actually sat and you actually took the time to listen to him, hear what he was going through, where he was at, and then you actually helped him get a promotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you can't get nothing done in this world without people.
Yeah.
You know? So like just seeing the development of others is just inspiring, right? Like seeing people's growth. Like when I look back at you and I look back at a lot of cats that I'm not going to name right on air, but like there's a number of folks. I'm like, man, this person's doing well.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't something I said, or you know, how do I get involved in that? But yeah, that's what I would.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
What occupation or profession would you never want to try?
I mean, I don't know if I ever can be like a mortician, man.
It's almost like living in a horror movie every day.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I could do that one.
Yeah,
man.
I can see that. Yeah.
They
make good money though, from what I hear.
Money, but it's all money ain't good money.
It ain't. And then it's like, you know how sometimes like the muscles still twitch. I'm out of there.
Yeah, I'm out.
If I see anything move that ain't supposed to be moving, I'm like, yeah, we out.
It didn't take me until later on in life where I was comfortable with death.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that'd be
kind of hard, man.
It'd
be dreadful going to work every day.
Yeah, for sure.
I got 5 bodies that I gotta clean up and make them look nice for the funeral.
But you know, you're doing something special for someone.
You are. You are providing a service, you know, that everyone needs because we all have an expiration date.
Yeah.
And we're all going to need a mortician. You know what I mean? So I commend all morticians out there. You're doing amazing work. It would just be very hard for me to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And last question is, when you reach the pearly gates, what would you want God to say to you?
Man, I would just hope that, you know, God sees who I am and how I feel about people, you know, truly, you know, like I really like want people to be successful. I just want him to just acknowledge the fact that I was just really a loyal person.
Yeah.
And I really mean that, you know what I'm saying? Like I try not to have any enemies. Even my enemies I still like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I would want him to see the positive in that and maybe look back on some of the things that I may have done wrong and say that's okay. Yeah. You've done enough.
Beautiful, man. Yeah. Beautiful. Tacuma, I would want to say that I am proud of your work that you've put out. I think that this book is something that is very much needed in a world where there are so many children out there, so many young adults, so many adults that were never taught these principles. And being that there's this book that is out there, now they have something that they can go to learn things that they wish they could have learned. And it's not a slight on their parents, but a parent can only teach what they know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we all do the best that we can with what we have. My parents did the best they could with what they have, and they taught me a lot of beautiful things. This right here just gives you extra. Yeah. It gives you some other hardcore principles that I think will help anybody through life. Male, female, doesn't matter. Yeah. So I'm proud of you, of your work. I'm proud of the man that you are. We knew each other in college. We didn't talk as much, you know what I mean? But you were always a cool individual, and you're still the same person in the heart. Yeah. You know, I feel like you want well for everybody. You're not negative at all, and you are really here to be a humanitarian to the world. For sure. You know what I mean? So I thank you, I commend you, and I pray that your book does better than you could ever imagine it doing.
I appreciate that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here with you.
Yes.
You know, like you said, we knew each other from Clark. You know, there's certain people that you look at, you like, that person's special. I always thought that about you. We never had the conversation because we stayed in different dorm rooms, man.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you're doing well as
Thank
well,
you.
man. And hopefully this next generation, man, and what we're doing today will inspire them to be great.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Hey, man, thank you. Thank you for coming to the Background Lounge.
Man.
And I can't wait for the next book.
Absolutely, man. License revoked, man.
Oh, license revoked.
Yeah, license revoked.
I already like the title.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it,
License
man.
revoked.
Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I haven't said that in not one of my episodes yet. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the notifications so that you can see all new episodes. This is the Background Lounge. I'm Larry Rim. This is Tacuma Stanfield. Please make sure you purchase License to Life. And we'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.